Welcome to 2017's first episode of the Verbal Graffiti Podcast. I am your host, Rick Cruz. I hope this year has found you and your family doing extremely well. Now, you can find this podcast on iTunes and Android. Our official website is verbalgraffitipodcast.com. That's where you can find additional information on us and the show's notes for each episode. Now, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Please love, like, follow, share, because we're just getting started and we need your support. Now, I know it's been a while since I've spoken to you, especially if you followed the first 3 episodes. So what I would like to do first is just reintroduce myself, the show, just so that we can get better acquainted. And then from there, we'll move on to today's topic. Now, for those of you that don't know, my name is Rick Cruz. I'm the owner of Biltmore Records, Inc., a record label that I established in 2007. Outside of that, I've been navigating through different levels of corporate America for the past 18 years. I'm into real estate investing. I run this podcast along with several blogs. And I recently launched a new nonprofit called Inspire 1 Billion People, Inc. Now, that's a charitable nonprofit with the goal of providing support, education, and inspiration to those in need within the community through charitable contributions of time, resources, and talent. I'm also planning some events for the label this summer, so be on the lookout for that. And I am involved in some network marketing opportunities, among other things. So I know to some that may sound like a lot of work, but my goals are what they are, and to me it's not work. I actually love what I'm doing. I do try to keep all of my goals aligned, so as if it's one company, just different branches. And that leads us to the new tagline for the podcast, which is business, finance, and lifestyle optimization. That's what I've been researching for myself and for my business for years now, and now I'm sharing it on this podcast for free. This podcast is meant to be informative, inspiring, entertaining at times, and focused on optimizing performance in the key areas of business, finance, and lifestyle. But what does that really mean? It means that I am studying this information, applying it to my life, and I'm sharing it with you. It does not mean that I'm an expert. This is a podcast. To me, podcasting is about learning, sharing, and growing. If you're not learning, sharing, and growing, then this may not be the podcast for you. It's that simple. Now, to get started, I was thinking, what could I share on this podcast that would be of the most immediate value to the person listening? I don't care if it's one person or a million people. Just in the first few minutes, boom, you just learned something that you would not have otherwise known, and you can apply it to your life and share it with others. So as I'm working on the podcast, I'm having a bunch of ideas, but the other day I'm scanning Facebook in particular, and one of my Facebook friends shared a post. The post says, "What do y'all know about chemotherapy?" I look further into the post and I find a whole list of comments and responses. But what I'm really noticing is that the comments are very general. It's a topic that people just don't want to discuss. But health is something that's on everyone's mind. And what I mean to say, it's really the main topic of conversation, right? So, like I said, the comments were very general, like it's a killer, it's not good, it could work if you change your diet, fuck cancer, try this herb, try that herb. And although all of this is all well-intentioned, it just didn't seem very useful. Let me tell you something. If I open up on Facebook, which I rarely do, by the way, but if I open up on Facebook and I say, what do y'all know about chemotherapy? I need some real information real fast. It's a real question. Hello. And it may not have been for him. It may have been for someone else. So I say that to say this. We seem to have a very general or limited understanding of important topics, almost as if we'll take the advice of others rather than doing in-depth research on the topics that are extremely important to us and our families. It's our responsibility to know these things and share them with our friends and family. It's our moral obligation to share what we know. And if we don't know, we need to find out. That's the philosophy, right? So especially today, recently 24 million people lost their health coverage due to the dismantling of Obamacare and the implementation of Trump Care. This is why this information is more important than ever. Not that you can trust everything that you read. Even WebMD was implicated in a cancer cover-up being in support of big pharmaceutical companies. It was recently discovered that WebMD's nutrition director was paid off by Mansetto Pharmaceutical Company It's a pharmaceutical company that pays registered dietitians to spread their agenda of promoting unsafe GMO products. And this was all done on the WebMD website. So it happens all the time, right? But either way, I'll put that information in the show's notes. So when I read the post, when I read the post, I had just listened to the Model Health Show with Sean Stevenson. That's one of my favorite podcasts. It's on health, wellness, and nutrition. You should definitely subscribe to the show. He had Dr. Marcola on the show. And if you're not in the know, Dr. Marcola is one of the most respected alternative medicine physicians in the world. Go to his website today and save it to your favorites. It's Marcola.com, MERCOLA.com. His blog is a great reference for information on natural alternatives for everything from cancer, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, everything. Like I said, it's your responsibility to be in the know in this area. It's a responsibility to know this information. And if you did it, now that you know it, you need to share it. Dr. Marcola is also coming out with a new book that I can't wait to read. It's called Fat for Fuel. And guys, if you're not on Audible, go ahead and sign up. You get your first book free and you get one a month. You get 30% off of books that are already out there so you can listen while you're driving. I was bragging last year that I read 26 books the whole year. This year I'll probably read or take in over 100 or more just because I'm able to listen to books while I'm at work. So within a couple of days I can read and take notes on any topic that I'm interested in. And hence you have the random inspirational post on Facebook. Right. Okay. So the other thing that Dr. Marcola is an advocate of is the ketogenic diet. Now, that's a healthy, high-fat, low-carbohydrate, low to moderate protein diet where your body enters into a state of nutritional ketosis. That's when your body burns fat as its primary fuel rather than glucose. It's known as the ketogenic diet, which changes or will change your body on a metabolic level. This is said to be key to cancer prevention and even its reversal. Cancer is rooted in poor dietary choices and a toxic lifestyle. Nutritional ketosis is a form of cancer prevention, but it's not, well, let me say it. Nutritional ketosis is not just a form of cancer prevention, but it's also a form of cancer treatment. Now, here's the disclaimer. It's not the cure. Wake up. It's not the cure. It's suggested to be used as a cancer prevention technique and to be used in conjunction with chemo or radiation. So back to the Facebook post. I would never tell anyone not to do chemotherapy based on something I've heard or some general knowledge. I will only provide the facts and the information based on research so they can take a look into it, read it for themselves, and make the best decision for themselves. This information is also good for our general listener who knows that they need to focus on their diet more. Here is a diet that promotes optimum health, weight loss. It's a preemptive strategy that you can incorporate into your lifestyle, keyword lifestyle, to stay healthy. And that's the key to business and financial health. Now, I will have more information on this in our show's notes, so you can check there. But like I said, it's your responsibility. It is your responsibility to share this information and pay attention to it. So definitely take a look at it. Look at the websites, follow the links. And these are the kinds of things that I want to be sharing with you guys on this podcast. And that's the reason why you should continually tune in. So subscribe now on iTunes or Android or wherever you subscribe. And let's continue this process. Thank you. So right now, before we close out, I would like to quickly review the show's previous topics and set expectations for the new show. So in the previous episodes, we were discussing The Power of Broke by Damon John. And if you haven't already read this book, go out and get it. It's a great read filled with inspiring stories that can be applied to your life and business, no matter what level you're on. I also want to recommend a couple of books. These are classics. One is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Those, to me, are the original self-improvement books that everything in the self-improvement industry is based on. The good thing is that you can listen to this or listen to those books now for free on YouTube, or you can join the Audible community, as I discussed earlier. Now, This podcast will still be reviewing books on a monthly basis as part of our segment called the Hood Book Club. In previous episodes, I did mention that I wanted this podcast to be interactive and recommended that everyone run out and get a yearly planner if they don't already have one. And I still do recommend that. Don't use your phone. There's still something to be said about writing down your goals every morning, setting agendas, and even journaling daily. So that's still a recommendation of mine, and I'll be discussing that on a weekly basis. The other thing that we discussed in previous shows was a wake-up challenge. Where we challenged the listeners to drink 16 to 32 ounces of water immediately after they wake up. As a caveat to that, I'm going to say drink lemon water or put some lemon in it, maybe a half a lemon or whatever, first thing in the morning. Now, I'm saying that because studies have shown that there are tremendous health benefits to drinking water as soon as you wake up in the morning. Not that contaminated faucet water either. And doing so, it flushes out toxins, it improves digestion, reduces inflammation, clears up your skin, fights off bacteria, rehydrates you, it jump starts your metabolism, and the list goes on. So it's a great start to your morning routine, especially when you're starting to, kind of balance things out. So, my whole morning routine is a topic for another show. It's not that I do it every day, but I try to, because I know that when I do, my performance and energy levels are at their peak as opposed to when they're not and I'm getting tired in the middle of the day. You know what I mean? Although during the middle of the day, these days I actually I work out, so it kind of balances me out and brings it up. But I got the idea from a book called Morning Miracles. The subtitle is The Not So Obvious Secret Guaranteed to Change Your Life Before 8 a.m. It's by Hal Elrod, Halerod, I believe. Now, for those looking into meditation, there's also a book called How to Meditate by Pema Chodron. I found that to be a helpful guide for meditation. That's a lot of people use that as part of a morning routine. There are meditation groups out there that you can kind of participate in a group setting as far as meditation is concerned. If you're in Charlotte, inbox me and I can send you some information on the groups, where they meet and when, that kind of thing. A healthy lifestyle has been a goal of mine. I fall short all the time, but for the most part, I've been able to maintain a pescatarian diet with mostly green, organic, leafy vegetables, trying to create the optimum environment for healthy living. I will be starting that ketogenic diet, so stay tuned and we'll see how that works out. I am trying to promote and share that kind of information, while I'm applying it to my life. So are you getting the picture yet? What I'm saying is the good life is not just for the wealthy. It has to do with mindset and information put into action first. And that's it for episode 4 of the Verbal Graffiti Podcast. Remember, subscribe to the Verbal Graffiti Podcast on iTunes and Android. Our official website is verbalgraffitipodcast.com. That's where you can look for the show's notes. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Please love, like, follow, share, subscribe. We need your support. I need your support. And there's a closed group on Facebook where you can go to get exclusive content. We're also hiring. If you're interested, contact verbalgraffitipodcast@gmail.com. You can leave a message on our website, leave a comment, or join our mailing list and get free promotions and other giveaways as we get things started. Yes, we are getting things started, so we need your support. Thank you. And today's tagline is, turn down the chicken, you're nothing but a jackass. Peace.